So at the time, I was more of a mainstream Christian, and I came in contact with some friends, and they were part of kind of like an offshoot Anabaptist church group. And that group ultimately led to me being part of a group, which with this group, there was positive and there was negative. I'm not going to deny the benefits that I gained of being part of the group. I really learned about more self-reliance and how to rely on yourself, like without health insurance. I'm not saying to not have health insurance, but it opened me up to a different way of living. So coming from the mainstream Christian situation, this is the really sad part for me, is that I lied to myself, or I refused to, if I did know what I was thinking, which maybe deep down inside I did, I ignored it. So whether I was lying to myself, I ignored it. I don't really remember all of it, but I do know that I was lying to myself because I ultimately wanted to escape my current situation. I really was in a very bad job situation. It was taking care of people that I could not handle. It was very stressful. I really felt ill-equipped to handle the workplace. I don't think, I had my ADHD, like not on the right medication. I was in a very, very difficult position. And I think that, I know, but that is what led me into becoming a member of this group. And the reason it's so important for me to talk about this now and to realize this now is so that it doesn't happen in the future. Because if you've watched any of my previous videos, it's no secret that I'm pretty unhappy right now in my job. Basically, it's just so important to acknowledge this because so it doesn't happen again. I don't want to get into a situation where it's like, oh, I need to move because I'm unhappy in my job, or making these really huge life decisions based on your unhappiness of a job, whether it's to move to a new area. Now, if there's a new job in that area and there's like a legitimate reason to move there, that's one thing. But to just be like, pick up and leave because you're not happy in your job. And I think a lot of people make these decisions subconsciously. I know I have a lot. And another could be going with a partner. There's nothing wrong with going with a partner, but you want it to be for the right reasons. I don't want to brainwash myself into thinking, okay, well, maybe life will be easier to split bills or something. And that could be a way to like not have to work as much at a job that you despise. So I have to like really have that awareness. And I just think that it's really sad that I took a bad situation that I was in and I turned it into a much worse situation that took me a lot of years to bounce back from. I came out of that group and I didn't know what like an Apple Watch was. I mean, I was so isolated for over 4 years, not using internet. I couldn't get into my Facebook account. Today I have 2 Facebook accounts because my old one with all my contacts, I couldn't get into it again. I missed stimulus checks because the church didn't acknowledge those checks. I just lost a lot of years. Well, I did not accrue debt while I was in the group, so I am grateful for that. But I still did lose a lot of years of like income, and it's easy for me to look at it like I wasted 4 years of my life, but I work really hard to not see it that way because being part of that group, I did learn a lot about life. I learned about growing your own food. I learned about just different ways of doing life. And I'm not going to blanket the whole group as bad because I don't believe that was the case. I believe that like in any organization, any group, you can have bad apples in there. I just regret people not standing up for me and what I went through it was several months that I was in a really bad position. So I think that we have to be very careful when we are looking to escape the matrix. We're looking to come out of our 9-to-5 jobs. We have to be like super careful. And I'm just bringing this to you because I've lived this, to not make our actual situations worse, because I know that I'm much better off going, even though I really despise my 9-to-5. I mean, it's not the company, it's not really the job, it's just it's just the lack of time freedom. Like that's what I'm going for, is time freedom. It's when you're like a creative person and you have all these like ambitions and all these things you want to do, and you spend the best hours of your day doing something mundane to grow somebody else's business, it can wear on you. But it's not the worst thing in the world, because whether I'm doing something this day or that day, and however boring it is, or if it were exciting, I'm still making money. And that money is something that is helping me for my future. It's something that I can invest in my business. And it's something that keeps me out of like a desperate place. Because if I'm just trying to survive, then I don't have that brain power or that strength to use towards creative pursuits, ambitions, and things like that. So I just really wish, I mean, I don't want to, I'm not bitter on it, you know, I'm not going to live that way. I'm going to take and glean what I can from that experience and apply it the best way I can to my future. But I just would really encourage people that if you are in your job that you don't like, that it's not the worst, it's not necessarily the worst thing in the world. Now, I mean, if there's something like workplace bullying going on, I really would encourage you to not stick around for that, because I have experienced workplace bullying this was years ago, not where I work now. This was at a different job, and that can really affect you and do damage psychologically. But if we're talking about a mundane job that is paying the bills and is not damaging you physically or psychologically too much, it's not the worst thing in the world. And I can tell you that from experience, because in those 4 years, if I had just buckled down and worked what I'm doing now for those 4 years, now granted, what I'm doing now, I didn't know if that opportunity was there, so I can't really, easier said than done, right? But just in theory and for future reference, if I had just buckled down and done that job for, 4 years and 6 months, whatever it was, I would be, I could probably buy a Sprinter van, or I'd be able to like do something. So that's a big mistake. All right, guys, so I think that's gonna be it on this video. I'm still working here in my budget apartment. It's definitely sinking in that this place, I do have a few concerns about it already. Hi honey, you wanna say hi? I don't regret my decision here. I don't regret it. I really believe that it is the best decision for me financially, and I already feel less oppressed seeing my job across the street. But there are a few things where I'm kind of like, did I just move to the projects? I mean, it's not Section 8, like it's just regular market rate rent, but I'm kind of like, I kind of feel like I'm in the projects. All right, guys, I hope that you got some value from this message, whether it's a cult or anything else. Just please try not to make your current situation work. Don't do what I did. Don't do what I did. Just stay the course, onward and upward. We'll see you on the next one. Bye.